Good evening. Welcome to Benue Television News Extra at 7. This is a review of stories that made headlines in the state in the week just ended. I am Naishun Dam. Now, the Benue state government is to begin immediate renovation of St. Francis Primary School, Agidi in Bukulugu government area. Governor Hyacinth Alia made the announcement Sunday at St. Veronica's Parish, Agidi, during the 50th priestly anniversary of Father Dominic G. St. Francis Primary School, Agidi, is the institution where Governor Hyacinth Alia received his primary education. According to the governor, his decision to renovate the school is to provide indigent children the opportunity to have access to formal education the way he did. Governor Alia, who recounted the role Father Dominic G played in his life as a priest and now as governor, called on the church to make provisions to accommodate aging priests after the service to the church, while praising Father E.G.'s priestly ministry that has served as inspiration to younger priests. Father Leah said the celebrant's milestone is a testament to his unwavering commitment to serving God and his people, which he has done with love, humility, and dedication. In a homily, Reverend Father Osbert Viashiman acknowledged Father E.J.'s role in the translation of the Bible in Tiv language to enhance the propagation of the gospel in Tiv land. Father Viashiman proposed reconsideration of the section of the canon law that prohibits Catholic priests involved in politics, calling on the bishop to approach the Holy See to look into the section of the law to allow sensibilities of the church in politics while practicing as priest. He applied to spiritual and traditional leaders to review burial rites in the land with a view to addressing big and long ceremonies for the dead. Father Dominic G., born on March 12, 1948, was ordained as Catholic priest on July 14, 1974. He achieved a historic milestone as the first Tiv indigenous priest to celebrate Golden Jubilee in the sacred vocation, also retiring as the first Tiv indigenous priest to do so. And now Governor Hyacinth Alia has charged board members of federal institutions from Benue State to support the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu's federal government to succeed. The governor gave the charge Saturday at Benue Hotel's Makudi during a civic reception in honor of Benue's sons appointed as board chairmen and members of federal institutions by President Bola Tinubu. It was a civic reception organized by Concerns Benue Youth to celebrate Benue's sons appointed board chairmen and members of federal institutions by President Bola Tinubu. Governor Leah, who felicitated this appointment, said he remains grateful to the president for finding Benue's sons worthy to be part of his development team, represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Professor Joseph Alakali. The governor described the appointees as high-profile individuals with different experiences in their endeavors who are ready to render selfless service to the nation. He called on the appointees to see the opportunity to be on the boards of means of attracting development, urging them to represent the interest of the state even as they cooperate with his government to attract development to Benue State. One of the appointees, who is the chairman governing council of the Federal Polytechnic, Oko, Chief Barnabas Gamade, on behalf of the other members, promised their resolve to ensure that Benue receives its worth as they key into Mr. President's renewed hope agenda. Chief Gamade believed that he and his colleague are only blazing the trail of more federal appointments to Benue State. Different speakers at the event include the chairman and chairlady of the occasion, Mr. Innocent Igwomonu, and Doris Iyo, as well as the Central Planning Committee chairman, Mr. Emmanuel Ube. All viewed the appointments as part of President Bola Tinubu's support to Benue State, charging the appointees to serve Nigeria and the state in line with the renewed hope agenda of the federal government. Guest speaker at the event, Emmanuel Jime, who spoke on the topic. Benue's development agenda praised the disposition of the first and second civilian governors of the state for the presidency of quality governance in the state. The honorees at a civic reception included Chairman, Governing Council of the Federal Polytechnic, Koko, and Chairman, Forum of Chairman, Board of Federal Institutions in Nigeria, Chief Barnabas Gamade, Major General Lawrence Onoja as Chairman, Governing Council, Federal Polytechnic, Nasarawa State, Chief Hingabim, Board Member, National Open University, and Tekimbi Gange as Board Member, Federal Polytechnic, Taraba State. Others were Chief Nursing Alapa as Board Member, University of Ibadan, Joe Abago, Board Member, Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, while Chief Usenda Ishua is to serve as a Board Member, Federal Polytechnic, Abeokuta, Ogun State. And now Christian communities have been reminded of the purpose of creation by God, which is to give praise to Him. Bishop of Kingdom Might World International, Most Reverend Mike Ngo, made a reminder to worshippers in church during Sunday service in Makudi. Margaret Abba tells us more.
Bishop Mike Ngo, during the Sunday service, says it is good to give God the sacrifice of praise because God created people so that they can praise Him. Bishop Ngo further emphasized that those who sacrifice their time to praise God and go extra miles to worship God will receive blessings in like manners.
Sacrifice of praise is the foundation of everybody which God made us. He said that He made the human beings to be a praise to Him, to show forth praise. Then we are to understand what the sacrifice of praise is, and that He has for us to have a lifestyle of praise, no matter the matter, so that God will be able to certify us as His own, like He did to David.
Some worshippers, Pastor Jennifer Yokaso and Apostle David Tema, described as enlightening, having helped them to understand what sacrifice of praise means.
To give God praise in conditions that are not pleasant, and that is called the sacrifice of praise. And when we do that, God Himself will give us the keys of David, because David will praise God in all situations. He will praise God. And from then, in that assurance of praising God and thanking God, he always have God intervene in all situations.
Praise has a lot of things that it does in the lives of people. When you give God the sacrifice of praise, God does a lot of things for us. For most of us, it has been an eye-opener, and we give God praise for what He has done. And I pray that God will give us the grace and the courage to be able to abide by the things that He has taught us in the service today.
The Bible reading is taken from the book of Psalm 47 verse 7, which says, "For God is the King of all the earth. Sing praises with understanding." Margaret Abba, Benue Television News, Makudi.
State to come Sankara Staff Forum, Benue State University held a peace summit to chart a way forward from incessant insecurity and violence ravaging the region. We'll bring you details of this shortly after the break.
Competition begins from 15th April to 19th July 2024.
Pick a form at Benue Television, located at Special Duties Wing, Government House, Makudi. Form costs 5,000 naira only.
Stage 1 screening begins on the 6th of July 2024. Great prizes await you.
The first prize, 1 million naira. Second prize, 500,000 naira. And third prize, 300,000 naira. All prizes are inclusive of cash and fashion tools. Also, consolation prizes and gift items.
For sponsorship, partnership and inquiries, please call Benue TV Marketing on 0906 188 9838 or 0703 794-5569.
Benue Fashion Show,
embracing fusion fashion.
Welcome, this is Benue Television News Extra at 7. Before the break, we said Sankara Staff Forum Benue State University, in collaboration with the Catholic Diocese and College of Education, Katsina, Thursday held a peace summit to chart a way forward from incessant insecurity and violence ravaging the region. The summit, which was targeted at restoring peace in Sankara through non-kinetic approach, drew participants from all walks of life. Benue Television covered the summit. Now to report. The part of Benue Northeast, popularly known as Sankara Geopolitical Zone, has not known peace in the past few years due to banditry and kidnapping, among other criminal activities. Tired of the situation, the Sankara Staff Forum Benue State University, in a deliberate move to end the worsening insecurity that has lingered for years, organized a peace summit themed Promoting Peace and Social Integration for Sustainable Development in Sankara. According to the convener, the summit is a call to all sons and daughters of the area to brainstorm and find solutions to end the menace. Guest speaker Professor Timothy Gyose emphasizes that deliberate effort must be made by parents and leaders to inculcate in their children and followers the power of love, unity, and social values to overcome hatred for one another.
What we want is something that is sustainable, because what has been happening with projects in our country, in our zone, is that projects have become like a bedbug, sticking on our bodies and sucking our blood and taking away and leaving us dry. And we don't want that. We want things that will help us to be able to help ourselves, to grow ourselves, so that we don't need to go begging for anybody to come and do anything for us, because now we have the capacity to do it. And we have the capacity to multiply that effect.
President Sankara Staff Forum Benue State University, Dr. Daniel Dam, appeals to all stakeholders to embrace a non-kinetic approach in resolving the issues. He also calls on relevant authorities and all prominent sons and daughters to help the youth in the area to receive skillful entrepreneurial trainings to make them useful in the society.
It is very important that all the key actors must come together and agree as a people and decide that they will be peace agents. What I mean by all the stakeholders, the youth, the women, the political class, the clergy, the traditional institution, all of us must come together and agree that we need peace. And we must say we are the agents.
The acting chairman, Katsina Local Government Council, Justin Chaku, acting to Sankara Chief Jimmy Meme, Professor Steve Ugba, Vicar Catholic Diocese of Katsina, Reverend Father Godwin Bago, in separate speeches, said forgiveness and reconciliation are key conditions for peace to return in Sankara.
I'm doing my part, and I wish to do more. I'm advancing on it, and it will not be too good with some people. As a leader, when you are a leader, you have offered your life to the subject, and that is what I'm doing.
When there's a just punishment that is served, it serves as a deterrent and it consoles those who are offended. So where a just punishment is not served to offenders, the likelihood of recurrence is inevitable for us to dialogue and engage in reasonable negotiation, which is better than violence.
My colleagues, this discussion has got to continue in a much more controlled environment. This is great, but we can do more.
Resolutions were reached and a communique drafted with a call on relevant authorities to reconcile and set up machineries to accommodate all Benue citizens. Nation. Dam, Benue Television News, Makudi. The part. Now, Benue State government flagged off 2024 cropping season and distribution of subsidized fertilizer and other improved agricultural inputs to Benue farmers. Governor Hyacinth earlier performed the ceremony Wednesday at Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security with a call on the farmers to embrace modern means and best practices in agriculture for improved food production and security. Correspondent Emmanuel Akula covered the flagged off and brings us details.
As we do the official flag off of this farming season, may God bless and reward the work of our hands on the farms, and may we count many more blessings at the end of the harvest season. And may we feed our families, the state and the entire nation and beyond. So help us God.
Benue State is set to reinforce its status as the food basket of the nation, Nigeria. The present government, under the leadership of Reverend Father Hyacinth Earlier, is giving priority to the agricultural sector to improve food production and ensure its security. At the flag-off of the 2024 cropping season and distribution of subsidized fertilizer and other improved agricultural inputs, the governor tells farmers in the state to embrace modern means of farming and best practices in the agricultural sector for better yields. Governor Liao says the state ESCO had approved procurement of farm inputs to cushion farmers' plight in the face of insecurity in the state. Announces that the federal government has released 60 trucks of fertilizers to be given to registered and genuine farmers in the state for free.
We are committed to boosting agricultural productivity in Benue State and positioning our farmers for sustainable growth and prosperity. May I at this juncture commend the magnanimity of the federal government through the Central Bank of Nigeria for donating 60 trucks of assorted fertilizers comprising of 19.8 trucks of NPK 2010-10, then 16.1 trucks of NPK 27-13-13, then 16.1 trucks of NPK 15-15-15. And 8 trucks of urea to Benue State government. These inputs are meant to be given to registered, genuine and verifiable farmers to enhance food production in the state free of charge.
Commissioner for Agriculture and Food Security, Professor Moses Ogbaji, confirms that with the support of the governor, the ministry has been fully mobilized to empower farmers in the state towards boosting food production. He mentions reactivation of the Benue State Fertilizer Company that is to begin production in the next 1 month as one of the major achievements of the present administration in the agricultural sector.
Today, please take a stroll to the industrial estate and see our fertilizer blending plants. They are set to produce. And when they begin to produce, before the end of this month, the prices of fertilizers will crash.
Meanwhile, the covering permanent secretary for the ministry, Iverin Tefa, says the timely flag-off of the farm inputs will boost agricultural activities in the state and enhance food security in this cropping season.
We are optimistic that agriculture and all of the activities related this year will be given a boost in the state, as well as guarantee of food security, thereby placing the state on a higher pedestal in the nation.
Among inputs to be distributed to farmers include subsidized fertilizers, improved seedlings, herbicides, and insecticides. Emmanuel Akula, Benue Television News, Makudi.
Stay on agricultural sector, Benue State government has provided farm input at subsidized rates to farmers across the local government areas for grassroots agricultural production. Director General Bureau for Agricultural Development and Mechanization, Benada, announced this Tuesday during a press briefing at Benada office in Makudi. Correspondent Dorcas Chia was at the conference and produced this report.
It is becoming a culture of the Benue state government to provide farm inputs yearly to farmers under a support scheme for Benue farmers. The scheme is in a bid to boost food production in the state. This year is not an exception as the Benue state government, through Banada, announces distribution of more farm inputs and seedlings to farmers. During a press conference, Director General Banada, Engineer Tese Ninga, explains that the inputs have been largely subsidized with fertilizers at 50% alongside seedlings, knapsack sprayers and agrochemicals at 75%. Engineer Ninga says government is optimistic that the move will help boost food production in Benue State for the farming season to change economic indices around agriculture in the state.
We began early so that we reach farmers early. We'll do the needful early and on time. Farmers are supposed to get agricultural or farming inputs as early as May so that they will apply them according to standard agronomic practices. And we have been doing so, hoping to end in the middle of July as per supply, while the farmers will continue to apply to the end of July for most crops, except for soybeans.
Engineer Ninga points out that the Governor Alia's administration is solidly behind farmers in the state, and to prove this, the government has solicited the support of international donors to supply quality farm inputs.
This government wants farmers to produce and improve their livelihoods. If you want farmers to improve their livelihoods, you have to give them support. What support do they need? The support they need is in terms of farming inputs. Essential farming inputs are what? Fertilizer, seedlings, agrochemicals, and knapsack sprayers, and other small machinery, which is what is ongoing.
The officials from the scheme inspect the warehouses containing the agro inputs in the process. The Farm Input Support Scheme commenced on the 26th of May 2024 and hopes to last till 17th of July 2024. Dorcas Chia, Benue Television News, Makudi.
Now, Benue State government is to establish a Bureau of Homeland Security as part of effort to fight insecurity in the state. Chief Security Officer of the state, Governor Hyacinth Alia, made this known at Government House, Makudi, while briefing the media after a state security meeting. According to the governor, represented by his deputy, Dr. Sam Ode, the bureau that is to be headed by the Director General appointed by his office will coordinate the affairs and information sharing between government and security agencies within the state to enable immediate and quick response to the security issues. Correspondent Emmanuel Akula completed the story.
The Benue State government says it is not resting until security of lives and property is guaranteed in the state. In some of the resolutions reached at the state security meeting that lasted for over 5 hours, the council resolves that in furtherance of the state government's efforts to find lasting peace in the state, all security agencies in the state should work in synergy to effectively combat crimes and all forms of criminality within the state. The council equally resolves to invite National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control (NAFDAC) as a member of the Security Council, as the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) and the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission (ICPC) representatives were also invited to be part of the Security Council.
That the multiplicity of illegal checkpoints should be stopped within the states, except for those at strategic areas, and that all the security operatives should be at each point instead of operating separately.
On the attacks recently experienced in the Kum local government area, the Security Council resolves to continue with the curfew in the entire Sankara federal constituency of the state, with a further resolve to place a ban on protest in the entire axis until further notice.
Council, after thorough deliberation on the extent of the destruction of government and private properties in the Kum local government area of the state, and the urgent need to restore peace, Council resolved to set up a judicial commission of inquiry to look into the situation.
It reminds residents of the state to note that the Benue State law against marching ground within the state is still effective and operational, saying that the law will soon be gazetted and made available to members of the public. Council equally agrees that the Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism should organize sensitization programs to inform people of the state about the dangers of using illicit drugs and the need to stop human trafficking.
That officially, the Benue State Security Council meeting, which holds quarterly, will now from time to time hold on a monthly basis and at such shorter periods as Council may deem necessary.
On the issue of human trafficking, Zona Commander, National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, Makudi Zona Office, Mrs. Gloria Bai, says the Benue girls that were trafficked to Ivory Coast have been brought back to the state and are currently in rehabilitation. According to her, the lady who took them there, in the guise of getting a job for them, has been arrested and will soon be charged to court. Mrs. Bai, who commends the efforts of the Benue State government for ensuring return of the girls, advises parents, guardians, and job seekers to always be on the watch out in order to safeguard against issues of trafficking. She adds that the agency is going tough on human traffickers with the aim of putting an end to the ugly practice. And on the issue of allocation of plots to federal government agencies in the state to erect structures, Council resolves to carry out extensive consultations on the matter in order to give equal treatment to the agencies as regards processing fees for certificate of occupancy and auxiliary charges. Emmanuel Akula, Benue Television News, Makudi.
A Uniport Center is to be established at Benue State University, Makudi. We'll bring you details of this story shortly after the break. Please stay if you can.
Competition begins from 15th April to 19th July 2024.
Pick a form at Benue Television, located at Special Duties Wing, Government House, Makudi. Form cost 5,000 naira only.
Stage 1 screening begins on the 6th of July 2024. Great prizes await you.
The first prize, 1 million naira. Second prize, 500,000 naira. And third prize, 300,000 naira. All prizes are inclusive of cash and fashion tools. Also, consolation prizes and gift items.
For sponsorship, partnership and inquiries, please call Benue TV Marketing on 0906 188 9838 or 0703 794 5569.
Benue Fashion Show,
embracing fusion fashion.
The proposed University Innovation Port Uniport Center to be established at Benue State University, Makudi, to be completed within 5 months. United Nations representative Nathan Namuyani on Wednesday at the Vice Chancellor's Conference Hall says the Uniport Center would not only be completed but when equipped within the stipulated time. Manasseh Anogachia has the report. According to the Internally Displaced Persons Monitoring Council, an estimated 3.3 million Nigerians, with Benue State inclusive, faces a significant challenge of internally displaced persons IDPs. In order to add value to themselves and the state, the Benue Investment and Property Company BIPC has designed a solution model tagged IDPs through capacity building.
University Innovation Pod Uniport is a program designed to assist the youths to be self-reliant and reduce dependence on government for white-collar jobs. Vice Chancellor Professor Joy Rapo, represented by the BOSA, Dr. Amos Otse says the university is ready to provide the needed environment and support for the program to take off as quickly as possible.
We want to ensure that all the activities are going on simultaneously and everything is fine. I want to say on behalf of the Vice Chancellor that the university is pleased with this project. The university is very happy with this project. And we know that the coming year will profit not just the whole of this region, but profit the whole of the region. That is why management has decided to put up this arsenal of people for you to see, from entrepreneurship, to the people in conservation, to the technology department there.
The focal person, Benue State University Dr. Sylvester Gemana, says the Uniport team are here to interface with the management and to take the vendors around the approved site for work to commence.
I'm here for the bidding for the remodeling of the structure. They now advertise these structures which need to be remodeled and has to be equipped with the equipment of House of State facilities for the purpose of that center to take off. And that's the mission that I hear. We're having meetings with all the vendors, those that are interested in working with us here. And the committee is set for us to monitor the activities, whatever they're going to be doing, to monitor the activities here in Benue State University.
Representative of the United Nations and Uniport analyst Nathan Tumehami and team are conducted around the proposed site for the project. Nathan says the center, which will be fully equipped with a state-of-the-art facility, will house 7 mega sections: computer design lab, prototype lab, electronic lab, computer numerical control, CNC, renewable energy lab, creative lab, and wood workshop.
UNDP is only coming in to support the equipment. Mind you, UNDP is a government agency. It's not a donor agency. So we look at things that are very critical to development. One of them is innovation and youth skill. We do that and then we leave the university to run with it. The Uniport that UNDP is going to establish here at Benue State University will have about 7 maker spaces. The first one will be what we call the Computer Adjusted Design Lab. Design computers and design softwares that are going to help students who have those ideas on what they want to design to be able to come up with that. That is one of the first components of this Uniport.
United Nations representatives and the university team agreed to commence work immediately. Manasseh Nongachia, Benue Television News, Makudi.
Now, a one-week capacity development training for engineering staff under the Benue State government has ended with a charge to actively step down knowledge gained in the discharge of their duties going forward. The one-week training was organized by the Ministry of Works, Housing and Urban Development in Makudi. Our correspondent Frank Alanshima tells us more.
The Benue State government is to re-establish the Agency for Roads Maintenance, which is an offshoot of the ministry, known to be divisional engineers' offices are cut across the state in the areas of Makudi, Boko, Vandekia, Kasna Ala, Otukpo, Aliede, Okpoga, and Oju. Declaring the program closed, Commissioner of the Ministry Tiza Imojime says the new development is expected to complement the efforts of the ministry. He assures that more of such training workshops will be conducted to give attention towards improving its workings. Tiza Imojime charges the trainees to be proactive in the discharge of duties henceforth, to improve themselves from the outcome of the training as is expected by the sponsors.
I've already spoken with the Attorney General, and we are looking at the paperwork to probably come up with a bill. You know, it's an agency, it must pass through assembly and all. So the Attorney General is already working on a bill to be taken to the assembly to see how best or how fast that can also come to life. So I think this program alone has brought a lot of things to life.
Covering Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Mrs. Anas Uchia, says the ministry has much work to do in order to rebuild Benue of our dreams, while charging the participants to put more efforts and expertise in their work. Uchia acknowledges government's efforts at ensuring that engineers are well equipped.
I know that after this, you will utilize this program seriously. But here today, you have acquired a reasonable knowledge to go and utilize it, and we are just starting. You are the pillar of Benue State, because without roads or anything, you cannot go anywhere. And wherever you go, especially Urukum side, everybody is grabbing for you.
Coordinator of the program and CEO Makode Business School MBS, Engineer Felix Atumeng, proposes the recreation of divisional units for engineers for roads maintenance in the state to oversee maintenance issues. Engineer Atume acknowledges the contributions of Benue State Government Ministry and participants.
The workshop has exposed the engineers of the Ministry of Works to modern ways of managing projects. I'm appealing that the Benue State government should establish the Benue Road Maintenance Agency, BENROMA, to take charge of the maintenance of these roads. If we don't have maintenance strategies in place, we may not get value for money. I keep on repeating. Honorable Commissioner, from these 5 days, I have also realized that you need more engineers.
Director, Civil Engineering Department Tifa Wombo pledges unwavering commitment of the staff to ensure the ministry delivers at all levels on the objectives of ministry and by extension Governor Alia's administration. Certificates are presented to participants amidst goodwill messages by the trainees from different departments. Franca Lanshima, Benue Television News, Makode.
Benue State Governor Reverend Father Hyacinth Ali has vowed to return to the church as a priest after his sojourn in politics. Governor Leah Mavis, known at St. Joseph's Parish, Corinian in Conchicha local government area, on the occasion of his 34th priestly anniversary. Correspondent Emmanuel Akula reports that the celebration, according to the governor and his classmate, was a moment of deep reflection and immense gratitude to God. Recognizing the enduring commitment and service to humanity they have all dedicated to their communities over the past
34 years ago, the governor of Benue State, Reverend Father Hyacinth Ali, was ordained a Catholic priest beside his classmates. These years of priestly ministry for them have been a journey of faith, resilience, and steadfast devotion, marked by countless acts of kindness, compassion, and sacrifice. The governor, however, describes priesthood as a difficult vocation that has given him and his classmates different experiences about life. He expresses gratitude to God for strengthening them in their weaknesses in the past 34 years of spreading the gospel.
In these last 34 years, we all have series of stories to tell. We know one thing in all our class, that the will of God cannot take you where the grace of God cannot sustain you. So though weak we are, I'm quite pleased with the second reading. His grace is sufficient in our weaknesses, and that makes the 34 years.
Father Alia, who states that his administration is committed to addressing poverty and hunger in the land, encourages the people to embrace agriculture to better their lives. As a way of encouraging creativity and talent, the governor awards a full secondary education scholarship, including uniforms and books, to 2 students of St. Joseph's Secondary School, Hosanayo So and Doris Tehemin, for composing and singing songs in Tiv language with moral lessons. He calls on the Benue State House of Assembly and the Tiv Area Traditional Council to re-examine burial ceremonies in the land, with the aim of addressing the excessive spending of financial resources by families at such times, and also calls for cluster settlements among the people.
The priesthood is a road less traveled. There's so many people who seek to be on the trip, but just a few called, specifically chosen and anointed at the end of the day, become the priests by the order of Melchizedek.
In a homily, Reverend Father Fidelis Fele advises the congregation to always look up to God, who has solutions to all human problems, calling on the Christian community in Benue State to sustain prayers for the administration of Governor Alia to enable it succeed.
Each of the readings for today's liturgy challenges the human propensity for labeling and limiting people. The readings invite us to begin to look at God, to begin to look at the world, and to begin to look at one another with more open eyes and more receptive hearts.
Meanwhile, the parish priest of St. Joseph's Parish, Konya, and a classmate of the governor, Father Emmanuel Doki, is thankful to Governor Alia for the struggle by his administration to foster peace in the state amid the good works he is doing for the people of Benue State. Other classmates of the governor are the Mars, Reverend Fathers Silvester Omoke, Bernard Asogo, Marcelinus Yesi, Francis Agban, Bishop Thomas Tav of Methodist Church, and several others, supported building of a befitting place of worship at St. Joseph's Parish, Konya. Emmanuel Akula, Benue Television News, Makudi.
Now, the Commissioner for Information, Culture and Tourism, Matthew Abo, has charged Benue State Government's House of Assembly media crew to continue with good reportage so as to encourage the state government in its development strides. Mr. Abo gave the charge during a dinner night with Assembly correspondent organized by the House Standing Committee Chairman on Information and Orientation, Elias Audu Imagudi. Correspondent Fidelia Zashandu was there. Now report.
The dinner night, which was organized by the Chairman, House Standing Committee on Information and Orientation, Elias Audu, has Speaker of the House, Aundena Daju, represented by Chief Whip Bemdo Ipusu, leaders of Benue Television and Radio Benue, other legislative members and all Assembly member crew in attendance. Commissioner for Information, Culture and Tourism, Mr. Matthew Abo, noted the importance of media in the development of any society. He commended the media crew for effective coverage of Assembly affairs, charging them not to relent.
You have been reporting activities of the Assembly without mincing words, without leaving out anything. I have been hearing on radio, television, and in other radio televisions too. And so I want to join him in appreciating you for doing a good job for the state. Information is the only way to promote the activities of the present government. All of us here are working for the government headed by Reverend Father Dr. Hyacinth Yomimalia. And all of us have a positive mind to make sure that he succeeds. And so your role is very key in this administration because people outside there are listening to you, are waiting to hear from you.
Chairman House Standing Committee on Information and Orientation, Elias Audu, described the dinner as a get-together to say thank you to the correspondents.
You have been able to work very well. I want to appreciate you. I also want to call on you to join hands with this committee so that we will be able to support the Speaker of the 10th Benue State House of Assembly.
Director General Benue Television Corporation, Dr. Patience Achakbaikyo, and her counterpart from Radio Benue commended the initiative by Elias, saying, "It's quite encouraging to be noticed for a job well done, assuring of more commitment to legislative reportage."
I'm also aware of what you are doing for the Assembly. So I am happy meeting with you, and I also wish to encourage you to continue with what you are doing the same way the chairman is appreciating. I would like to appreciate the chairman and the whole of the Assembly for this, because this has never happened before. As far as I know, they have never recognized that we reported for them. They have never recognized that we have done anything. We have even contributed to the success of any assembly or any functions they've done for the good of the state. But this is just 1 year. And the Assembly coming up with something like this to say we appreciate you, we recognize you, is something very big.
That you have identified with our colleagues, you've identified with us. And so information will flow seemingly. And we promise that we will all stay behind you to support you.
About 8 media organizations that cover legislative matters were present at the event. Fidelia Zashaondu, Benue Television News, Makudi.
Benue State Governor, Reverend Father Hyacinth Alia, has pledged the support of his administration to the girl child education in Benue State. The governor made a pledge at Federal Government Girls College, Boko, when he visited a school. Details of the report.
Governor Hyacinth Alia, who is on his way to Vandeka, stops at the Federal Government Girls College, Boko, as a parent to pay a visit to the students on their visiting day. Addressing over 1,600 students of the federal school, Governor Alia encourages them as future leaders to give priority to their education, not only to make their parents proud, but the best gift they can give to themselves. He expresses satisfaction with the relationship between the management staff and students, which he says will inspire the students to take up leadership positions, pledging assistance to the school to cushion the study life of the students.
The best gift you can give to yourselves, my dear daughters, is the gift of education. I want you to please give your very best into your study life. It puts you on the best of pedestal tomorrow.
Principal of Federal Government Girls College Boko, Mrs. Idio Maslim, who describes the governor's visit as historic in the life of the school, praises his support for the education of the girl child, which he says has given many children the opportunity to excel in life.
He is a frontline advocate of girl child education, and he has a word for all of us today.
A student, Antonia Chukuma, on behalf of the student, is grateful to the governor for supporting their education, promising to take their studies seriously in order not to let their sponsors down.
I sincerely thank the governor for everything he has done for us. And I pray and ask that God, with his infinite mercy, will continue to guide and protect him.
The governor, during the visit, aside provisions for the students, pronounces donation of 50 bags of 50 kg rice and 8 cows for their feeding. Emmanuel Akula, Benue Vision News, Makudi.
Now, in a deliberate move to boost the economy of Benue State, Governor Hyacinth Alia has commissioned an ultra-modern market in Vandikia local government area of the state. The governor performed the ceremony in Vandikia in company of the caretaker chairman of local government, top government officials and other leaders. According to him, the move is necessary to his government is willing to support small and medium-scale businesses in the state towards improving the state's economy and livelihoods of the people. Let's join Emmanuel Akula for details of the report.
Since assumption of office over a year ago, Governor Hyacinth Alia's administration has continued to take deliberate steps in affecting lives positively. The governor again emphasizes the need for the people to embrace small-scale businesses and dry season farming to improve on their livelihoods. He is here as part of his administration's drive for a better economy to commission Our Lady of Perpetual Help ultra-modern market, Vandikia. This market the governor sees as a catalyst to boost the economic status of the people. He promises provision of facilities at the market, expressing hope that opening of the market will boost economic activities, not only in the area but the entire state. The governor wants saboteurs to stay away from the market, directing that those who have encroached on the land belonging to the market to immediately vacate the portions.
Nehicha yama yange de lona hanga ko simbala hane ko se mlunya u Benue mlunya u Jechira mlunya u shahe kwato kuna.
Caretaker chairman of Vandikia local government area, Dennis Guda, who informs that the market will be holding daily, solicits the governor's intervention to give the market a facelift. Leaders of Igbo, Hausa and Yoruba communities, as well as commercial institutions, request the governor to develop the market as his main legacy in Vandikia. They conclude that the market is big enough and has the potential of increasing the revenue base of the state, aside helping in decongesting other markets in the state.
Your Excellency, I want to tell you that with you, let this market be your main legacy in Vandikia local government. I want you to go away to this market, and I want to assure you that if you tie all these markets, provide all these facilities they are talking here, I want to tell you this market will generate a revenue in Benue State that no other market in Benue State will generate.
Vicar General of Boko Diocese, Father Linus Huabo, Tekuna of His Royal Highness Ngiyongwa Chiaku, and leadership of Khan in Vandikia local government, pray God to bless the market to benefit the people. Emmanuel Akula, Benue Vision News, Makudi. Since assumption.
And this is where we draw the curtains on today's episode of Benue Television News Extra at 7. Do stay tuned for the rest of our programs coming your way. See you same time next week. I am Naishundam. To have a great night's rest. Bye for now.